Cop Watch, policing the police every single day.
Hey, Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and we got to do a story on this. James O'Keefe did a story on somebody, and just because he did a story, they fucking did a illegal TRO and took his guns. I personally know somebody else that this just happened to also. Did a story and a lawsuit, and they took his fucking guns. They also did this to Solo Yacker. Michael Taylor, he did a story, and they took his fucking guns. Well, we now have Counterman versus Colorado from the U.S. Supreme Court that said, you better prove fucking intent, mens rea, that you are truly a threat before you take his guns, because the Second Amendment says shall not infringe. Not infringe, shall not infringe. I think everybody should have a gun, even if you're violent, because us nonviolent people can shoot the violent people. And James O'Keefe in this video, which I will add, even they are talking about with James Fisbach, they are going to change this motherfucking law that's violating the fucking Constitution, First Amendment, and the Second Amendment, and they're doing it to whoever speaks out? Are you fucking kidding me? With all these latest fucking Supreme Court rulings on the gun rights? Now we got Counterman versus Colorado, where even Kagan said, you better be proven to be truly intent and violent. And she even admitted this should blow up half these illegal bullshit fucking TROs in America. And the people that have been fucked over for this should sue the fuck out of everybody that took their fucking guns!
Justice Kagan has the opinion this morning in Case 22-138, Counterman versus Colorado.
For over 2 years, Billy Counterman sent hundreds of Facebook messages to C.W., a singer and musician in Colorado. The two had never met, and C.W. didn't respond. In fact, she repeatedly blocked Counterman. But each time, he created a new Facebook account and resumed his contacts. A number of his messages expressed anger at C.W. and said she would suffer violent harm. Those communications terrified C.W. and upended her life. She stopped walking alone, declined social engagements, and canceled some of her performances. Colorado brought criminal charges against Counterman for those messages. Under state law, the prosecutor had to prove that Counterman's messages were objectively threatening, that a reasonable person would understand the messages as threatening violent harm to C.W. But the prosecutor didn't have to prove that Counterman had an intent to threaten, or even had an awareness that the messages would be understood as threatening. On that basis, a jury convicted Counterman of sending threatening messages. On appeal, Counterman argued that his conviction violated the First Amendment. He maintained that the Constitution required Colorado to show not only that his statements were objectively threatening, but also that he intended or at least was aware of their threatening character. The Colorado Court of Appeals rejected that argument, but other courts have come out differently on the issue, so we decided to hear the case. Today we hold that in so-called true threats cases, the First Amendment requires proof that the defendant had some subjective understanding of the threatening nature of his statements. But that does not mean the state has to show the defendant specifically intended to threaten another person. It is enough if the state shows the defendant acted recklessly, that he consciously disregarded a substantial risk that his communications would be viewed as threatening violence. We begin by reaffirming that true threats of violence are not themselves protected by the First Amendment. Some categories of speech, incitement, defamation, obscenity, have not been historically protected because they have so little value and cause so much harm. Another one of those historically unprotected categories is true threats, serious expressions conveying that a speaker means to commit an act of unlawful violence against another. And what is a true threat does not depend on the speaker's mindset. It depends solely on what his words convey. And yet the First Amendment still demands a subjective mental state element, shielding some true threats from punishment. That's because in the absence of such a requirement, valuable speech, non-threatening speech, might be chilled or deterred. A speaker might be uncertain about whether his statements are threats, or he may worry that the legal system will say they're threats even though they're not, or he may fear the expense of becoming entangled in the legal process. So he steers wide of the danger zone. He engages in a kind of self-censorship. And he does that even though his statements are not true threats. To prevent that from happening, we insist that the state in a true threats case has to show some kind of culpable mental state. The idea is that imposing that requirement will reduce the chilling effect on protected, non-threatening speech. In demanding that much, we treat true threats as we have other unprotected categories of speech: defamation, obscenity, incitement. In all those areas, our precedent demands that the state make a showing about what the defendant had in his mind. And we do that again here to ensure that the prosecution of unprotected speech doesn't work to chill valuable protected expression. The next question is what kind of subjective showing the state has to make. And on that issue, we have to strike a balance. Because even as we want to reduce the chill of protected speech, we don't want to make it too hard for prosecutors to punish people for true threats of violence, which are terribly damaging in all the ways the facts of this case show. Looking again to our precedent, especially about defamation, we decide that the constitutionally required mental state standard is recklessness. That standard offers enough breathing space for protected speech without sacrificing too much in the way of enforcing laws against unprotected true threats. Here, Colorado prosecuted Counterman without showing that he was aware of his statement's threatening character. That is a violation of the First Amendment. If the state decides to retry Counterman, it must show that he consciously disregarded a substantial risk that his communications would be viewed as threatening violence. Justice Sotomayor has filed an opinion concurring in part and concurring in the judgment, in which Justice Gorsuch joins in part. Justice Thomas has filed a dissenting opinion. Justice Barrett has filed a dissenting opinion in which Justice Thomas joins.
Back at the police station to see if I'm going to get my guns back. Here we go. Hello. This is James O'Keefe. I'm here to retrieve my firearms, ma'am.
Okay, complete this form in its entirety.
Got it. You want me to do that right here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We take all the information and it has to be uploaded to the site. It could take 15 minutes or it may come back tomorrow.
Some guy filed a restraining order against me for publishing a journalism story, and then the sheriff came and took my guns. So ever see that before here in West Palm Beach?
No comment.
No comment. Fair enough. No comment. Are you a drug addict? No. Are you illegally or unlawfully in the United States? These are the sorts of questions they should ask voters. Hello, how you doing?
The official rolls her eyes at me in disgust simply for saying this out loud.
He said he wanted to kill me.
I would kill him.
And he still has his guns.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have the means to protect yourself because they took away your self-defense. James, here's my commitment to you. When we overturn this law, we're going to name it the O'Keefe Act. I'm serious, and I'd love to have you there at the bill signing.
Okay, thank you.
Because what happened to you should never happen to any patriot in the state.
It's been 3 months since the West Palm Beach Police Department came into OMG headquarters and confiscated all of my firearms after our reporting on Matthew Tierman.
Is this all good?
Yep, this is
Tierman said into hidden cameras he wanted to kill me.
I would kill him.
He was an SDNY informant, taking down various conservative groups.
That's why I fed the Southern District tons of shit to try and get him in prison.
Tierman was the Project Veritas board member who voted to fire me from my own organization. Tierman managed to initially get a temporary restraining order against our news organization in Miami-Dade County.
There's a sheriff in my studio serving me domestic violence documents,
which is unconstitutional and we're in the process of defeating. In the meantime, people may not be aware that in the state of Florida, when there's a TRO against you, the state confiscates your firearms even without a hearing. Now, after the judge overturned the firearm confiscation, we go back to the West Palm Beach Police Department to go through the process of getting my guns back, but were met with a bunch of forms and bureaucracy, and I brought James Fishback, who is running for governor with me.
What is the status of this case now?
As he wants to change this particular Florida law.
Well, the thing is that the big picture is this is Florida. We believe in the First and the Second Amendment, and you lost your second because you defended your first.
Exactly.
You're punished being a journalist. Think about it. You have to, not only did they take away your guns, you have to now fill out 4 pieces. There's a 4 to get your constitutional right back. We should never have been stripped in the first place.
We're just talking to ourselves about this situation.
If eligible, if eligible, your Second Amendment guns will be released between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., so I have to wait even longer. Quote, once you are notified that the property is ready to pick up, you have 10 days to pick up your property.
Okay, I understand. I think I can sign that. I'm a claimant. I'm a claimant, and I'm if eligible. Okay, that's form number 1. Let's go to form number 2.
Tell that to our founding fathers. Gotta change the law to stop
It's
us.
asking me for my race. I'm not sure why that's relevant. Have you been a victim of a crime in connection with this claim? I mean, that's an existential question. Is Matthew Tierman saying he wants to kill me? We haven't filed a police report, so technically no. But okay, form number 3. Please answer all the following questions subject to penalties of perjury. I am the legal owner of the property. Have you been convicted of a felony? No. Are you a fugitive for justice? No. Are you a drug addict? No. Are you illegally or unlawfully in the United States? These are the sorts of questions they should ask voters. Hello, how you doing? Have you ever been convicted of a felony? No. Have you ever been a juvenile detective? No. Have you ever been convicted in a court of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence? No. Okay, we're all done. There you go. Thank you. So we filled out the forms, and there's been 2 officials, and we'll see if we get the guns back.
And when the guns were confiscated, there had not been a hearing prior to that.
That's correct. No hearing. No hearing.
Due process.
Bless you. I'm allergic to this whole process.
Yeah, I'm unconstitutional.
This is a allergic reaction.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
And James, if this can happen to you, it can happen to anybody.
Probably is happening to other people.
It's happening to a lot of people.
Actually, we'd like to hear from. We should put out a message to the public if you've been through this, to contact us.
This injunction process.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it a little bit later, but red flag laws is one of them. That's state statute 790, and then what happened here, which was the cyber stalking, which is state statute 784. Both of these laws violate the second.
790 is cyber stalking?
Yeah, 790 is red flag law, and 784 is what happened to you, which is cyber stalking. Both of them, if without a hearing, you can be stripped of your guns.
How did that happen in the state of Florida?
The Democrat governor passed it.
Which
in the 90s, Lawton Chiles.
In the 90s?
And it still has never been reversed.
Just 30 years ago?
Yeah. And that's why I made it a key point in my campaign run for governor, James, that we have to get rid of these laws that blatantly violate the Constitution.
The funniest part of the video is when the police officer trying to put the shotgun in like a little paper bag. Oh, they turn the lights off.
It's very ominous.
If they just turn all the lights off in the police station and shut down, and then we have to go.
We just have to go, yeah. And by the way, right here, right now, you don't have a means to protect yourself because they took away your self-defense. James, here's my commitment to you. When we overturn this law, we're going to name it the O'Keefe Act. I'm serious, and I'd love to have you there at the bill signing.
Okay, thank you.
Because what happened to you should never happen to any patriot in the state.
Let me call them. Okay. Because unfortunately...
Thank you for calling the City of West Palm Beach Police Department. Wait while I transfer your call.
At least the hold music is good. Hello.
Okay, hi, no problem. I'll take the clipboard. She says you can go ahead and leave and she'll give you a call when it comes back.
So we're not getting our guns back today?
No.
Okay.
I just need to be...
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Have you heard of James O'Keefe and OMG or Project Veritas?
No, but I'm definitely going to be looking it up.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. See you later. Okay. We're not going to get it back today, so we're returning with an empty gun case, and I'm still on hold. So we just walked out of the West Palm Beach Police Department. We did not get my firearms back. James Fishback, who's running for governor, we're interviewing everyone running for governor of Florida, says he wants to change this law. I'm still on hold. This is my case. They did not give me back my guns. They made me fill out 4 forms if I'm eligible to get them back. James, your reaction?
My reaction is this violates the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. You're a journalist. You have a right to free speech. You criticize someone by quoting them what they said about you, and they took away your guns. No hearing, no due process. We're going to repeal this law when I win.
Fishback says he wants to repeal the law. We're going to have to return to West Palm Beach. Please tune in to our exclusive My Price is My Life interview with James Fishback on the sailboat. Setting Sail with James Fishback comes out this coming week. Stay tuned. The full Setting Sail with Scott Pressler episode is available now wherever you get your podcasts. Then tune in as we set sail with James Fishback, the first in a series of interviews on the sailboat.